Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. My name is Pam Dunwald. I am the co-founder of Your Nurse Advocate Consulting, and I'm so glad that you're joining me live today. For those of you that are new here, I'm a board-certified patient advocate and a registered nurse with over 40 years of experience, and we help families just like yours navigate the challenges of caregiving and healthcare with confidence as well as support. So today we are talking about a big topic, and that's senior relocation. If you're preparing for an aging loved one to move from their home, whether it's to assisted living, a smaller, maybe a senior independent apartment, closer to family, or even moving in with you, this episode is for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So, why is senior relocation so emotional? And this is a big topic. And this week, check out our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Um, we've got lots of Instagram. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, if you're on any of those social media channels, everything this week is pertaining to senior relocation. We've got, we'll share at the end some resources, some free resources for you. And there are we have a throwback Thursday video that's on our YouTube channel that also will be shared on Facebook and Instagram, is about decluttering. We interviewed a gal by Piece by Piece, and that's the name of her company. And she talks a lot about how to preserve the memorabilia, how to handle the emotional side. So everything this week is based on relocating of an aging loved one. So, moving is not, it's never just about boxes or the new address. For our aging loved ones, home is often a place that's filled with decades, years of memories, independence, and their identity. And so leaving it behind can bring up a lot of emotions, including grief, anxiety, and even resistance. And we see that all the time. And if you've been following us for a while, we talk about frequently that that's one of the biggest challenges, and that aging adults have to overcome, and their fears is losing their independence. So as caregivers, we want to do what's best, but it's easy to feel overwhelmed or even a little bit guilty. And if you're feeling that way, you are definitely not alone. I had a client call this week, and my heart poured out to these daughters that are really struggling with wanting to do the right thing and just meeting a lot of resistance because their parent is afraid of losing their independence. And so it's important to approach senior relocation with empathy, patience, and a lot of open communication. So let's go into step one. So let's talk about compassionate conversations. So the first step is to have a communication or have a conversation about the move. So let your loved ones share their memories and concerns. Involve them in decisions, where they're going to move, what to bring, how to make the new place feel like home. Again, we've got a couple of resources we're going to talk about. We've got a checklist on just, relocating an aging adult, check the boxes. And we've also got a nice free guide on what to look for in a senior or an age-friendly community. And so we have a couple of resources. I'll share those with you in a little bit. So most importantly, don't rush. Give them time to process and reassure them that their wishes matter, that they're still in control. They're still the decision maker. You're willing to help them, but you must try and convey the message that they still have some control over their own decisions. So if you've helped a loved one move before, what has been the hardest part of the conversation? So if you're with us, just drop a line in the chat. We'd love to hear your stories. Even if you're watching the replay, leave us a comment. Every tidbit or every experience that all of us go through as caregivers is something that we can help someone going through the same thing. So please share if you've had that experience. So the next step would be step 2, or assessing their needs and priorities. So let's talk about their needs. So is their current home safe? Is their bedroom on the second floor? Are they having trouble with stairs? Do they have to do the laundry? Do they have to go down into the basement? Is there a lot of clutter? Do they have clear pathways? Or are there things that are making daily life more difficult? What do you see? Piles of bills on the dining room table, dishes in the sink that normally aren't that way. And then what kind of support does your loved one need now? What might they need in the next few years? How did you see changes? Do you see any one area where there's been a decline? Would assisted living or independent living or moving in with family, what might be the best idea for them? I mean, I had a family too. Long story short, ended up moving in with a daughter. Their personalities didn't mesh as well. She went with that daughter because that daughter worked from home, and we helped find an appropriate independent senior apartment that could have her needs met with her dog. They actually had a dog walking service. They would walk her dog for us. So, there's lots of options out there. So we like to work with families with their wish list, their gotta have to list, and then what we'd love to have list. And then we work with them to try and find those places that can then meet their needs. So one of our pro tips we like to share is start thinking about these questions early before a crisis forces a rush decision. No one wants to end up somewhere where they don't want to be. And you're not going to know what they would be willing to consider unless you have that conversation. And you have that conversation before the need arises. This is something that should happen, casually, not that you're making any different plans, but hey, mom, if something happened where you were not able to live safely at home anymore, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? How would you like to see your needs met? And what kind of a living, environment scenario, what would you like to see? And that's an easy way to start that discussion. So step 3 would be about making the plan. We're all about trying to keep it simple, and planning is a big part of what we do as helping as an advocate. So once you know what's needed, then it's time to make a plan. So create your own senior relocation checklist. Use ours, to help and guide you so that you don't miss any of the important things. Think about downsizing, packing, paperwork, address changes, tour options, whether in person or virtually. And, don't be afraid to ask for help. Family, friends, or a professional advocate can make a huge difference in sharing some of that load and sharing that some of that responsibility. We do have our moving checklist, and we'll share those that link in the comments. So let me see if I can put that in there right now. I did save that here, so I can grab that easily for you in my notes here. So I'm going to drop that into the comments here so you can have that. Also, no worries if you're catching this on the replay. We will have this in all of these resource links in the video description of our video when we put it on our YouTube channel. So this would be our link to have that relocation checklist. So we've got that in the comments for you. Okay, so let's look at after we have the checklist and we're starting to pull things together, the next thing is what's really, really important is step 4, and that's how are we going to honor their memories and possessions. This is often the hardest part, sorting through a lifetime of memories. I'm telling you, my mother-in-law passed away a year ago. We're still in the process of selling her house. We still have boxes of photo albums and genealogy and family tree things. And my husband and I are still trying to go through a couple of boxes, a week. And it can be extremely overwhelming. So don't hesitate to reach out and help. When family is here, my sister-in-law was just here from South Carolina, and we were all going through pictures, and it is a lot. And you wonder, we've been sorting out memorabilia for other family members because we don't want to throw any of these things out if it's something that they would like to have. So this can be, and our Throwback Thursday video is about downsizing and decluttering with Sarah Washburn from Piece by Piece. She does an amazing job. That is her business, is to downsize and declutter adults with special consideration to all the memorabilia that aging adults may have. So remember to go at a comfortable pace. Share stories about treasured items. This would be a good time. One of the things that we regret is some of the pictures. We have a box that has pictures that nobody knows who they are. And so with my mother-in-law being gone, we had our fam jam, which is a family reunion on my husband's side of the family. And so we brought these pictures to see if some of the other older relatives could identify some of these pictures. So, don't wait till the person's gone, because then you lose those stories. You lose who those people might be in those pictures. So it's a good thing to start going through them now, but so that it's not so overwhelming later on. You could put them on flash drives. There's many companies out there that specialize in putting these types of things onto flash drives, jump drives, whatever you call them. So, and then copies can be made so all the families can have it. Now you have a little something you could plug into the computer, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So make sure that you're sharing stories over these items. Take photos, make a scrapbook, or record a video walk through the old home. This is something that they could take with them. I know I've shared this story before, but we have a realtor that I know was moving in, an aging adult was moving into assisted living, and she always sat in one spot of her window in her house and looked out at the beautiful view. Well, what he did is before the house was sold, he sat in that chair and took a picture of the exact view looking out the window where she would sat, and he put that on the cover of her memory book that his real estate agency had done for her, so that she could take pictures of her home with her where she was going to go. So these are the kind of things that are important. So, and also to help your loved one keep connections with friends and neighbors after the move. That will also help reduce isolation, make them feel that they're not losing their circle, so to speak, that they still have those emotional and social connections that they so desperately need at their age. So step number 5, supporting the transition. When we say transition is essentially the move, changing locations, changing residence. And so once the move happens, the job isn't really done. You've got to set up the new space to make them feel familiar and welcoming. Stay connected with regular check-ins, visits. Watch for signs of depression or anxiety. This is a big, big change, and it's normal at some of these times that you might need some extra help with the provider, with the physician, with the family doctor. So one of the things that we like to talk about, now we just talked about just kind of general relocation, but why might you need the assistance of a nurse advocate? Certainly for some of the things that we've already talked about, but where we come in handy, especially with a relocation of an aging adult, is we offer that relocation support. And what we look at, besides all the rest of the things, we look at the healthcare needs. We can help you find the right senior housing based on your needs and based on our assessment of your needs, whether it's assisted living, memory care, independent living, or moving in with family. Another thing that's very important with a move is we review your Medicare insurance coverage to make sure there's no gaps and help you find the right plans for your new location. A lot of people don't understand, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, that's usually based on county. You might not even be leaving the state, but if you're leaving the county, your coverage or your doctor may not be covered, from your new location. So we need to stay on top of your Medicare and your insurance so there's no gaps. Right along with that, will you need to change physicians? Is there a plan that you can look at where you could keep your same doctor if you're not moving too far away? We assist you with changing doctors, transferring care so that nothing falls through the cracks. As we get older, our healthcare needs can be more frequent, so we can't afford to have any gaps. We help coordinate care in the new setting, whether we need some home health, whether we need personal cares, maybe some meal assistance, housekeeping, medication management. We can bring all of those things together and help you with that plan, vet, and also reach out and help you choose agencies that may be appropriate for you. We also have a nice handout. If you go to our website, yournurseadvocate.com, relocationadvocateconsulting.com and click the free resources tab. We even have a whole guide on the pros and cons of choosing a private caregiver versus an agency caregiver. So there's lots of information there if you need to look at hiring a caregiver. So we can connect you with trusted relocation services. We have connections with senior resident real estate services. They actually have a senior certification for real estate agents for special needs for dealing with aging adults. We have relocation services that we know of that they handle the packing, estate sale, any auction, decluttering, downsizing, boxing things up, kind of a one-stop shop. So there are companies out there that can help you do all these things. And so if you're selling, the family home, again, we have those connections with an SRES or a certified real estate agent that deals with seniors. And if you're a long distance caregiver, we can help you find that local support and peace of mind. That's very common service that we provide where the children live long distance, whether it's a state away or across the country. And we help bridge that gap. We make sure that their healthcare needs are met while communicating with the long distance family members so that they feel they're in the loop, but yet they feel that they have support and don't feel so guilty that they're so far away. So these are just some examples of how Your Nurse Advocate Consulting can help you with a relocation with an aging adult. So now we're just going to get into some of the resources that I've mentioned for you. So I put in the comment section. And I just want to say, hey, Mavis, it's very nice to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate you joining us. And so I put in the chat about the relocation checklist. One of the other options is consider joining our private community at whatever level you feel meets your needs. We have four tiers of service, including a free option. We have a private hub. It's a private community where we can have private conversations and know that they will stay private. You can ask us questions. Even when you leave a comment, there's a little drop-down box that says you can leave me a comment, Linda a comment, so that the community doesn't see it, that it's just shared for us. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll drop that into the comment section now too. And this is for our Your Nurse Advocate Now program. And again, it's worth checking out. Like I said, there's 4 tiers of services that you can look at to see what might meet your needs. And they start all the way from free and go up from there. So you can certainly find something that might be suitable for you. The next thing is that I promised you, we talked about this a little earlier. I'm going to drop the link in for choosing an age-friendly community. What should a neighborhood be like? If you're looking for like a senior apartment or they're looking for a senior community, what should they look like? What should the services, what should the neighborhood look like? So I'm going to drop that in for you. That's also a free resource that we have. So you're very welcome to download that and have that at your disposal. And then as we move on, again, if you're looking for personal help, we have a 30-minute free consultation. So oftentimes we've been able to help people just during that 30 minutes. We hear your story. We look at what the needs are. We determine if we can help you. And what we say is always, even if you don't decide to choose our services, we'll guarantee that you walk away with at least 2 or 3 action items or tidbits of information that you can use right away to make a difference in caring for your aging loved one. And so I'm just dropping in my scheduling link for that 30-minute free consultation if that's something that you feel would be beneficial to you. So if you have questions about senior relocation, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Send me a message after the live. I'm here to help. Again, send a comment if you're catching this replay on our YouTube channel. Send me a comment. The blog post on our website, yournurseadvocateconsulting.com. Click the blog tab. We've also got a written blog on this subject with a lot of our resources shared right there. So that's another option for you to get some more information. So remember, the transition is more about a lot more than about changing addresses. So it's about honoring your loved one's story and ensuring their next chapter is safe and fulfilling. And so just remember, you're doing an incredible job, and every step you take makes a huge difference. You are the hero. We're just your guide. We're just giving you the tools, but you are actually the true hero in caring for your aging loved one. It is truly your labor of love that makes all the difference in the world. So thank you for joining me for Tuesday Tips. Be sure to follow us for more support and check out the blog for a deeper dive into today's topic. Take care, and we will see you back next week for another Tuesday Tips. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon.